Hello everybody. So today I will talk about calculus. The topic today is about differential equation. So now I will show you how to answer. First, we need to find about complementary solution. So I will put about yc equals to e to the power of lambda s. Later that, we do first the derivative of this one, and we have lambda e to the power of lambda s. First derivative of this one, we keep the same e to the power of lambda s. Later that, we do first the derivative of lambda s. You got lambda. Now we go to second derivative. And third derivative. So, because this is about complementary solution, so this one equals to number 0. Now, I will put this one go in here. This one go in here. And this one go in here. So, we have lambda to the power of 3 e to the power of lambda s plus number 2 lambda square e to the power of lambda s minus e to the power lambda e to the power of lambda s equals to number 0. And now we have e to the power of lambda s. We can do about factorization. So we need to find the solutions of this one. So we have 3 solutions. Lambda equals to number 0. Lambda equals to negative number 1 plus the square root of number 2. Lambda equals to negative number 1 negative of the square root of number 2. So we have yc equals to c number 1 e to the power of lambda s. So e to the power of 0s, you got number 1. The next one, we have c number 2 e to the power of negative number 1 plus the square root of number 2s. And c number 3 e to the power of negative number 1 negative of the square root of number 2s. And here is the answer for complementary solution. Now let's go to particular solution. So about particular solution, I need to use about variation of parameters. So I will transform coshx into e to the power of s plus e to the power of negative s over number 2. So we know that this one is about number 1. This one, that's about this one here. Because we use about Wronskian. So in this situation, I will put about y number 1 equals to number 1 in here, y number 2 that is about this one in here, and y number 3 that is this one in here. So if we apply the formula, that should be like this. So we have the matrix in here. So I will put y1, y2, y3. So because we have 3 y's in here, so we need to do first and second derivative. Sorry, number 1. Similar for this one. Because we want to create the matrix 3 and 3. Now, y number 1, we have number 1. So if we do first derivative of this one, we have 0. Later that we have 0. Y number 2, that is about this one. So if we do first derivative of this one, we have negative number 1 plus the square root of number 2 e to the power of negative number 1 plus the square root of number 2x. Now if we do second derivative of this one in here, so we have like this with the power 2 in here. Now we can do similar for the second one, but I will put the negative sign here. So now we need to put about Wronskian number 1. That should be about this matrix. So this one in here. So that means this one multiplied by this one. Later that this one multiplied by this one, and we have the negative sign in here. So that should be about negative number 1, negative of the square root of number 2 e to the power of negative 2x minus negative number 1 plus the square root of number 2 e to the power of negative 2x. So we simplify, that is about negative 2 with the square root of number 2 e to the power of negative 2x. Now let's go to Wronskian number 2. That should be about combine this one and this one. So y1 we have number 1 multiplied by y number 3 with first derivative, and this one with number 3 we have number 0, they cancel. So we just have like this. and Wronski on number 3. That is about this one. And if we look in here, number 1 will go to this one, number 0 with this one. So we just have this one in here. Now we can calculate about W. So we have this one multiplied by Wronski and number 1 in here. So we put this one go in here, minus second derivative of y number 2, Wronski and number 2, and positive second derivative of y number 3, Wronski and number 3. So number 1, that's E in here. Oh, sorry, that's E in here with this one. So you got 0. Y number 2, that's E in here, multiplied by this one in here, and W number 3, that's E in here, with this one in here, from here. So that should be like this. This one and this one we combine together and we have negative 2x plus negative 2x2. Now we need to simplify this one. We have number 2 with the square root of number 2, e to the power of negative 2x. Now we need to find capital F of x. That is about this one in here. And the next one be 0x. So that's about this value in here. So coefficient of this one, that is about number 1. So we put number 1 in here. If the question they have about s, so this one they should be about s in here. Be careful about that. Later that we have the formula b 0 over f s multiplied by capital. So b0 in here we have number 1. This one multiplied by this one. So we have the square root of number 2. And we have e to the power of negative s plus sorry e to the power of negative 3s. Next, we need to find first derivative of u number 1, first derivative of u number 2, and first derivative of u number 3. I made a mistake. This one should be in here. So the correct should be like this. So this one we put in here. B0 we have number 1, W that's about this one. So this one will go to numerator, number 2 and number 2, and square root of number 2 we can put like this, and we have e to the power of 3s plus e to the power of s. Now let's go to this one. So we have this one in here, we put in here. Later that we have w number 1, negative w number 2 in here, and w number 3. So we have the negative side for first derivative of u number 2 in here. So if we simplify, so w number 1, we have this one. Now combine together, you got 1 over 2 e to the power of s minus e to the power of negative s. This one with w number 2, that's it in here. So we will have about the square root of number 2 plus the square root of number 2 over 8. So we combine this one and this one in here. We will have about e to the power of 2 minus the square root of number 2 with s, and the next one, that is about e to the power of s. Oh sorry, e to the power of negative with the square root of number 2s. And the next one, this one, multiplied by w number 3 in here. So we have number 2 minus the square root of number 2 over 8. So w number 3, we have 2 minus the square root of number 2s plus e to the power of negative of the square root of number 2s. Sorry, that's a positive, not negative. Now after we calculate everything in here, we need to find the integration of this one with the s. So I will write the answer for you. U number 1. For this one we have 1 over 2 e to the power of s plus e to the power of negative s. U number 2. This one, we keep the same of this number in here. And this one we will have about e to the power of 2 minus the square root of number 2 over s over number 2 minus the square root of number 2. And the next one, e to the power of negative with the square root of number 2s over the negative of the square root of number 2. U number 3, that is about number 2 minus the square root of number 2 over number 8. So for this one, they should be like this. Now we can find about YB, that is about particular solutions. So we have U number 1, Y number 1, U number 2, y number 2, and u number 3, y number 3. So u number 1, that is about this one, y number 1, that is about this one. So I will put this one gone here because y number 1 is about number 1, so u number 1 equals in here. And the next one, u number 2, that's it in here, and y number 2, that is in here, and u number 3, that's it in here, with y number 3, that is in here. Now if we simplify everything, and we have e to the power of s over number 4 plus e to the power of negative s over number 4. After we got yb, we can get the final answer. Yc, that is about this one. We just calculate in here. And yb, that is about this one. And here is the final answer we need to find in here. This is the end. Thank you for watching.